Well, Ren, we are so happy and blessed that you have chosen to join us on this wonderful virtual platform, international indeed. And it's good to see your beautiful face and your voice, and you're ready to go to share all the wonderful work you have been doing in Jamaica and seeing Stacey Beckles up and ready to go. And what would we do without our famous global international speaker presenter, Donna Martin Morgan? And while she's getting all the little details together, just want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. And we know it's going to be a wonderful evening as you share your work with us and to inform us of your best practices so that we can learn and be supporters and get others to be ignited and continue the great work.
Yes, 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 yes. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, everyone. We were waiting for Lois, Witter, Caribbean Rhythms Radio Network, but we'll have to see if Lois is going to jump on a little later. I was busy sharing and sharing to our different pages, Caribbean American Diaspora, Caribbean Rhythms Radio Network, Caribbean Diaspora Vibes, because this drops on my personal page, right? So welcome everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for
Surround
having me.
surrounded by my I always feel so good with my sunflowers, my bright sunflowers around me. I just love there's sunflowers like all throughout my house. So, thank you everyone. My name is Donna Morton Morgan. I am the president of Caribbean American Diaspora Alliance, president of Women of Culture Incorporated, real estate broker and mindset coach at Inner Vibes Consultant. I want to thank you for joining us tonight. We took a break for a little bit, a little spring break, and we're back tonight to talk about Caribbean outreach. We have two amazing outreach advocates. And when I say outreach advocates from the heart, on the ground, under the ground, these two individuals have a heart for their country and doing work. And so we want to introduce Reverend Stacey Beckles, all the way from Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome, Reverend Stacey.
Hi, welcome. Thank you for having me tonight. I really thank God for this opportunity. I thank all those who are viewing via the World Wide Web on whatever platform you may be viewing on. Thank you so much for having me tonight, Donna, and by extension, Woman of Culture Inc. team. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you. I see another beautiful face that joined us before Miss, is it Lita?
Letla.
Letla. That is an
Yes.
impressive name.
Thank you.
Hi, hi, hi. And we are
Uh,
joined again by another advocate all the way from Jamaica, Mr. Renford Jeffrey. Hey, Ren.
Hi, hi. Hello, thanks for having me.
All right.
I'm
So
glad to
what
be
we're gonna
here.
do, yes. What we're gonna do
Mm,
tonight, we're gonna start off, we're gonna go to Trinidad first, the ladies first. And we're gonna hear from Reverend Stacey. She's gonna give us a little snippet about who she is and the work that she's doing, well, that she's done for so many years. And then now in 2025, the work that she continues to do in what area. We want to hear, because we want to use this opportunity for anyone listening that want to give back and pour into these outreach advocates, these hearts of love, of service hearts. If you are able to help them financially, with resources, with connections, with support in any way, that's the basis of this show. So we're gonna go ahead and turn it over to Reverend Stacey. Reverend Stacey, you got it for about 20 minutes. If you can kind of tell us about everything about you, and then we'll go to Ren.
All right. Okay, so let's go. So again, pleasant good evening to all on the panel, those who are viewing via the World Wide Web. I'm Prophet Stacey, and I carry two titles. I carry the title of Reverend, but I also carry the title of Prophet in the fivefold. I'm a former incarcerated woman. And one of the reasons why I'm here tonight, in a nutshell, is that while I was incarcerated for several years in our nation's only female prison for drug trafficking in the year 2010, I had a lot of loss of houses, cars, even loved ones. It was a very traumatic experience. However, when I came out, the Lord laid in my heart strongly to open an NGO, Women of Transformation, where transformation begins with you. And we were using the theme, renewing the mind. For once the mind is renewed, the words are renewed, the actions are renewed, and you see yourself differently. Me coming from a poor background, a background of poverty, not so much poverty of certain things, but poverty of myself and self-image, how I was brought up, it taught me a great lesson even in my pain. So one day I was sitting briefly with another pastor, and he said, you know, the Lord will have you to do great things in our nation. But you hearing somebody tell you that you just came out of a prison after several years, lost everything the world had to offer, houses, cars, and so many worldly things, to having nothing. And then God started to build me from within, finding who I was in spirituality and by helping others. I then went and registered the company with the government of Trinidad and Tobago. You must go through that process to be legally operating. I got through. I named it Woman of Transformation. And one day, God said, in all the years, it was registered in 2017, we're in 2025. The Lord said, you have to help women beyond those who coming out of prison, because all I knew was prison. And as time go by, I connected with people like Women of Culture, Inc. International, Donna, the Coalition of Domestic Violence, churches, ministries. God started to work. In the late 2024, bringing it up a notch, besides giving food, clothing, school books, rent, medicine, anything I had, even from my personal having little, I gave to those who came to my door. It is a testament of who I am. I had the opportunity to meet several politicians, but it didn't work out the way I thought it would have. It wasn't God's reason for that connection. And late last year, the Lord laid with me. He said, Stacey Ann, rise up. I need you to prepare a home for women. So I just shake my head. I said, Lord, how am I going to do that? I don't even have a home for myself, meaning a home like a mortgage. I rent. And he said, I'm not concerned with your need. I need you to house women, and I will take care of you. I pondered about it. I procrastinated. Early on this year, many women came to me who had nowhere to live. Stacey, I don't want no food. Pastor, I want no food. Now, I came from the gun arena, the drug arena. I came out of that. God saved me from that. I'm losing two children fathers to gun violence in our nation. And he said, help these women. Now, some of them, I had to have them in my living room. We will talk till morning just to make them sleep because I didn't have room to accommodate them. And as the year started in 2025, a burden came upon my heart. Our country is very high with domestic violence. I'll be real now. It is high. One of the reasons why it is high, women have no place to stay. Yes, there are one or two shelters, but sometimes the shelters are there, but the type of nurturing the women need, the type of listening ears. They don't need a manager of a shelter. Yes, all that is good, but they need someone that will pray with them, listen with them, someone that walk that walk. I was a victim of domestic violence, cough in your face, kick in your head. And however, God changed that story. So now there are women coming to me, not even made prison, but they just want to come out of a situation. I don't want to go back with that man. I don't want to go back in that community. Some of them find out they are sick physically. They are ashamed to go back because we have stigmas in almost every country. I can speak for Trinidad and Tobago. They hear you have certain illnesses or viruses, they treat you differently. So sometimes a woman just need a place, and I will just even widen that, a human being just need a safe space. So I am trusting God. A deal came to me to show that this was the plan of God. There are prefab houses being prepared in our nation. You are getting it ready in 3 months. People are buying it like water. It's costing 150,000 TT, which is 16,000 US cash, and they're building it, they're putting it together. The Lord showed me the number 5. 5 speaks of grace. 5 women. I have people who are willing to give me new beds, stove, fridge, but they have those type of stores. So they will sponsor 2 beds, 2 double deckers, a single bed, a stove, a fridge. But I have 2 people thus far that is willing. They have already put their money where their mouth is. Now, Women of Transformation, I'm going to read this briefly. Donna, give me a check, so you give me a time. Many of our programs we'll be having at that shelter, it's going to be, because everything I'm calling out here is registered. It is copyright. It cannot be copied. Because we have our vision, we have statement. People, someone hear your stuff and they run with it. We have it internationally copyright and all of that. Homelessness for runaway women and young girls. Right now, young girls are being kidnapped, murdered throughout our nation. I have clinic intervention, family clinic, where a mother may be there to train. She wants to talk to her sister, and they will come at the home there. We have what you call shock program, which is targeting extreme violent and delinquent females, because I came from a place like that. We have dating violence prevention that will be held at the house, and women who go through that. They went on a date, they get raped, we got to deal with that. We have gang involvement. I deal with a lot of young girls who were in gangs and they just want to come out. Miss Beckles, Miss Stacey, anywhere for me to stay there? And they don't have nowhere to stay, so they don't go back by their abusive family sometime or to the gang world. Then I have children of incarcerated parents. Now, children does not always mean under 18. That's a mistake we make. There are big children, like 19, 20, have children growing and they say, well, we mother in jail, or we father in jail, and we mother in jail. I have cases where mother and father is in jail, but the son is now 18 or the daughter is now 19 and she don't want to stay in the community. It's because anywhere I could stay. They don't want to go in a government shelter because you get a stigma. But where God has given me the idea to put this is in a remote area, what we all will call the suburbs, country, and I have the land already. I bought the land with my money. Money that was given to me. I want to make it clear because passion drives purpose. Money I was given to buy a home for me a few years ago, 3 years ago, I took that money and paid down on a piece of land. And I always say, I'll build a home for me. I'll build a home for me and my 3 children. The Lord said, you will not build no home for you. You will build a home for the woman with nowhere, and I will give you something else. So that is my plea tonight. Of course, Women of Transformation, we have a goal. We don't just want a house woman. After 3 months, we will connect them to get jobs. I am well known with people with jobs. One of our vision statement is purpose to become empowerment and change agents, in restoring and reforming and transforming the lives of young girls and women. You cannot restore people with a food hamper. You cannot restore people with clothes. That is the outer man you're restoring. Some of them, Dr. Adams, they will not walk in your church. They are not Christian. Will I turn them away? Some of them with gunman. Will I turn them away? I will deal with the gunman with the law and the Lord. All right? Because I came from that. And one of my theory of change, I use the self-determination theory. All right? SDAT has been identified and adopted as the fundamental theory of change, which engages, develop, and realize the change of clients. Right? Because that's how I look at them. I'm going to try to help them to get employment for those that will need. And some may not need employment, they just need somewhere safe, where no man will kick them. Police not kicking down the door because they're living with a drug lord, man. I have been there, and I have done that. All right? And if it had not been for the grace of the Lord, when I came out of prison, I want Women of Culture, Inc. and those viewing by the World Wide Web to hear this. When I came out of the institution, I had nowhere to live. Yes, I have family. How long will family keep you? It was the pastor that had a room. May she rest in peace. She was from Clarendon, Jamaica. Live in Trinidad. Give me somewhere. When she died, God prepared a room for me, and I moved up from there. But as the burden becomes stronger, Doing this work, you have to have a burden and a love for humanity. Too many women are dying, being murdered by husbands. Just last week, a young 20-something young nurse was stabbed to death because she asked for a divorce. Nowhere to go. And she don't want to go in our so-called safe shelter because what you feel is safe, somebody knows somebody. And they say, yes, she here. By me, she's safe because I've walked that walk. Many people who have shelters have not walked walks. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. And you cannot preach to me what you have never lived. You may have an idea. You can empathize, but you cannot sympathize. So many people have shelters and they get state funding. They start off good, and then you hear all kind of thing. I don't get state funded. I have a very small team, but God is our fire. People like Donna Morgan, Women of Culture Inc., other people who have heard on this platform, send a seed. I tell people, don't send food stuff. It is high to clear it. Don't send clothing. Ooh. When you hit the customs, it is better you relate to us. We have directors in Women of Transformation. You send it on their name or you send it to the NGO through a bank transfer. We have a bank account for that. That doesn't go to me. God supplies my need, and I work hard in the field of construction. But God has laid it on my heart to ask for us. So I'm seeking support. As I said, 2 business empires has come on board, and they said they will give a start. It was better than I thought. And as I go in, as we say this, as I close, I have my first appointment on Saturday with the contractors because they import the homes ready just to set up in 20 minutes. They import the homes, but you have to come and let them know what you're about. What is the plan? How many people? And they give you a home. I'm looking at a 2-bedroom starter home for 5 women, and every 3 months we rotate them according to their need. If paraventia, they don't get nowhere in 3 months, we will run it again because sometimes you put a time limit on things, but God has a different outcome. So we at Women of Transformation, I'm going to speak. Or when you hear Women of Transformation, you see me, the transformed one among others that may not come on this platform, but I will continue to be a voice for the voiceless. Not by words, but by action. Action speak louder than words. So I am seeking help to start to pay down a little more as we go along to make this dream come true. Please note, transparency is different to honesty. I will be transparent all the way, connecting with Mrs. Morgan of Women of Culture Inc., and she will relate to those who have come on board to help Women of Transformation transition housing, to transition women into their right purpose.
I
Thank
love
you.
it. I love the evolving of the organization, you know. All throughout COVID, you were literally giving away basket hampers and
Yes.
probably still doing that, right? But
Yes, I am.
and sometimes that's how life is. We start out one way and then it's just you know, it's the ladder. We have to start here and we go up the ladder and then up the ladder and up the ladder. So I'm so thankful to see you climb up the ladder
Thank
and
you, Donna.
in so many ways. So Dr. Arlene, any feedback?
I am just excited about the doors that God is opening up for Reverend Stacey Beckles and how, she is just so focused and steadfast, and God honors that. When you persevere, He will really, He's faithful and He will help. So I think we're going to hear a lot more in the months to come. I'm
Amen.
excited for you. I remember initially, and boy, you're really growing by leaps and bones. And I call it bones. And I'm excited at what the possibilities and all the potentials. So I know it's going to be great for your country. I think seeing what you are doing, they're going to come aboard. They're going to come alongside you. So I'm excited about those homes. I am.
Thank you so
Yes.
much.
You
And
mentioned, as you mentioned, country. Is there any funding, grants, any partnership?
So I'm glad you asked that. So I just mentioned in our country, the government gives something called not grants, they don't use that word, they get subvention. You don't get subvention with NGOs like mine. Make it very clear. You have to know the who's is who and the who know you. It's not who you know, it's who know you. That's one. You have to have big plan and this and that, right? They don't know about, I said the home is a 2-bedroom, one home I'm going to set up and put women there. People are sponsoring beds. I just need help to start to pay down for the contractors to import the home in 3 months, in 90 days. And when they contract it and you pay them at least half, they give you a payment plan. I go to the government with this, it will take me forever. Number one, the government is more concerned of NGOs with domestic violence yet, but they have their people already. I'm no bones about it. This is not America. This is not England. This is Trinidad and Tobago. And it have nothing like, let me connect you. They're a business. You know what? The first person that helped in this was a woman who heard me. I went into her pharmacy to buy a postcard. And she said, how you going, Prophet? And she hugged me. And the Lord said, start telling her the vision. Immediately, she said, give me a bank account. She was of East Indian, young girl in her 20s, but she already from her pharmacy sold. Those are the type of people I am calling on board. I am not looking to governments. They will not help me the way I'm looking for. And in the time that God has given me, God gives us time, instruction, and seasons. If I miss this season, I have to wait a cycle. He has already spoken. Do we not perceive it? Government is not into that. When they're into those things, it's something where they see they can look really outstanding in. They gonna know what I'm doing, but I'm not doing it onto government. People are gonna come on board. The woman who's selling the pie, the woman who's selling the snow cone, the sugar cake, 200, 500, we put in every dollar counts to make up.
I'm wondering, because I know last week we had a Caribbean organization for it was autistic, but it was for disability. It was like a Caribbean disability. So I'm wondering if there is a Caribbean association among like that, like among other countries, because getting that, so we'll research that too, because if there's a Caribbean disability organization, I'm sure there's one for violence.
They have one, sorry to cut you. That's how I met you. The Coalition of Domestic Violence is who introduced me to you. They get what they get from government. That have nothing to do with me. They have their own shelters and they have been around years. You have to prove yourself. I've just started. And they have nobody who was in prison on their team except the woman who may come for shelter. There's a lot of red tape. I will repeat it again. This is not America. This is not other. This is Trinidad and Tobago.
We need to get the word out to you across, whether it's especially diaspora, because a lot of the times the diaspora community will be the one. So if you're listening, you know, you're not limited, but you're, especially if you're from Trinidad, living in the diaspora, living in the UK, living in Canada, living in the US, and you always wanted to give back to your home country and have no way, you know, this is the time to do it. You can help on so many levels, on feeding, you know, regular monthly feedings and you know, food hampers, back to school. That's a whole nother process of getting books and stuff for kids to go to school. And of course, helping to support Reverend Beckles with the second chance, you know, homeless. And I guess it could work for both. Second chance and homeless a lot of times go hand in hand.
Yeah.
But, you know,
and I just want, you know, Donna, before I leave this platform, I want to say something. There's a lot of marginalization and stigmatization to people who come out of prison in my country. So from the time sometimes they hear you ask for money, some, not all, they think, okay, you have to show them your whole skull. You have to pour out your guts just to get $5. And they want to see a plan from here since God would make Adam. I'm not into that. God will send destiny helpers. Just like the woman who walked out her pharmacy and said, don't say no more, Prof. Just give me a bank account. We're going to sow a seed to start off the project. She didn't need to know a long story. We talk too much sometimes as human beings. God said it. The word is out there. Plenty people know about me, but why would they put me? That's the mentality some of us have. I don't know now. Yeah. That's how we move from the hierarchies to even sometimes the churches. Real. I keep it very real. We play too much games with ourselves. Sometimes even the churches you're looking for thinking somebody from the crowd might come out and do something, or the leader himself, him or her herself. There's a struggle. But I promise you, I will launch that house with or without the help of man. God will send destiny helpers.
Yes, I definitely believe. Where can people, if they want to reach you, obviously they can connect with us, connect with me on messaging Women of Culture Inc. or Caribbean
I'm going to give
American
them my
Diaspora.
number now. They can
Yes.
connect with me directly. They can connect with me on Facebook, Stacey Beckles Messenger, or they could connect via email, AnnWilliamsTT@gmail.com. I have someone who checks my email every day, one of the directors, a psychologist, AnnWilliamsTT@gmail.com, or Stacey Beckles on Facebook Messenger, or TikTok, The Chosen. They will see my face with my locks, The Chosen, and they can connect with me at 1-868-263-4802. The number again is 1-868, Trinidad's code 263-4802. That is Woman of Transformation number. Somebody will take up the line.
Yes. I love it. Thank you for the
Thank
work
you
that
so
you do
much.
and that you continue to do. And we are declaring decree that whatever it is that you seek, you will receive. And that your destiny helpers, your angels, whatever it is that is, dispatched to you, because you are destined for greatness and you have love and you are light and you will continue to be a light in the dark and, in the dark places in your country. So God bless you. We love you. We love you. We love you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. I appreciate Women of Culture for all the support they have given me thus through the years, every summer and every Christmas, and any other time they could, Dr. Adams and Mr. Louis, who is not here. I thank God for them, who I know after this broadcast will try to put their heads together to push
Yes.
the vision that one life will be saved more. And we could say, we all did this for this woman and her children, or this woman and her child. Thank you for the opportunity to share.
Thank you. The goal is to bring light, like we said. People are always saying they want to give back to their country, but they don't know how. We've got the perfect way for you to give back, for you to bless, for you to pour back into your country. And it could be small, whatever it is that you can do, if you have resources that you can connect these individuals with. We've got people out here waving flags every day, going to carnival, spending crazy money for a bottle, all these things. We have to think about that. Their children back home, their women, their families back home that need us. We can't just come and leave, whether we're in the US or Canada, UK, etc., and just turn our backs. We must look back. And most of us profess some type of faith, and that makes it even, but yet we turn our backs. So we must begin to serve. We must begin to practice the word and love people and share your resources, share your time, your money, whatever it is. And we definitely ask for your help tonight for both of these amazing advocates. Thank you again, Reverend Stacey Beckles from Trinidad and Tobago.
You're welcome.
All right. Everyone, we're going to jump from Trinidad now. We're going to go over to Jamaica. and we're gonna welcome Mr. Renford Jeffrey. He's gonna tell us about his return from Canada to Jamaica and on the streets every day serving. Welcome, Ren.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Can you hear me well? Yes, great. Thank you once again for this opportunity. And I must say offhand, it's not about me, but primarily it's about what God is doing. And also for the many people I'm collaborating with, because I'm a collaborator, I'm a facilitator, and it takes a team to do the work. Teamwork makes the dream work. And on that point, I would love to recognize Pastor Lahaye. She's on the line, and she has been in this business for a long time before me, doing amazing work on the ground. So in future, I'd love to connect you with her because she's doing amazing work. So I want to recognize her and Trisha Linton and Alisa Griffiths and all the other people from Canada and yourself who come down. I just come down to Jamaica and I'm laying the foundation and making access for other people like you, for Jamaica, the diaspora yourself, to come into Penwood and Albear School. So I want to give credit to all these people. But let me back up and say who I am. If you have never heard about me, I was born in Waterhouse, Kingston, Jamaica. My father left Jamaica when I was 3 months. I did not know him, went to England. And, my mother raised 4 children in Waterhouse as a single mother, absolute poverty, no fridge, no TV, 1 pair of shoe at any given time. When people are having rice and peas and chicken on Sunday, we're having porridge, and just hard life. And then the fact that you are a single parent, they bully that. And surprisingly, Jamaica, that 95% of people in Jamaica are of Jamaican African descent and they're Black, they actually, you are persecuted or stigmatized. So I was too Black to be in Jamaica. so I was marginalized because of my complexion, didn't have any friends and anything like that. But looking back, I can see that God was preparing me all along, all that I went through, for the call that He has upon my life. And this is where I want to start off to say that everybody has a call upon their life, but many people live and die and never fulfill the call upon their life. Your career is not necessarily your call. Jesus was a carpenter, but his calling was to be the savior. So God had a call upon my life, and by God's grace, when my father came back when I was 17, saw him for the very first time, then he left again after 2 weeks. So my mother left shortly after for England. I became a registered general nurse. I went to Penwood Balmagie Primary School, Penwood High School, went into the National Youth Service where I work at the blood bank. From the blood bank, I heard that male could be nurses, and I applied, got through to Bellevue Hospital, graduated as a nurse, worked 7 years in Bellevue, which is a psychiatric hospital in Jamaica, the large, very large hospital. And after 7 years, I immigrated to Canada for 30 years. And work for 30 years, recognized in Canada. I'm in national newspaper there, got a number of awards. Like, it's amazing. This little barefoot Black boy from Jamaica, ended up in Canada in national newspaper and all of this stuff. And then I of myself said I could not have been where I was in Canada without the help that I got from Canada, because from Jamaica, because even the nursing degree that I got, diploma, it was free. They paid me to be a nurse. So I said, I have to be thankful. I must return to Jamaica upon my retirement. But then God stepped in and began to speak to me clearly about returning to Jamaica. Said, go back to your own people, and I'm giving you a ministry of deliverance. Moses was drawn from the water, and you are drawn from Waterhouse. So amazingly, but I just wanna, people who have a call upon their life, they have profound encounters. Moses had the burning bush experience. Paul fell off his horse on the road to Damascus and he was blind. I had a number of encounters, so I know indelibly. So when people said, "Oh, are you so passionate?" It's because I encounter God. So when you really do encounter God, you have no mistake. And without those encounters, you discourage easily and give up. Because when you know you met God and God's spirit, it's very hard to give up. So I just want to mention one of them. I remember one morning early. I used to get up early and pray every day. I still do it. But in Canada, I get up and pray in the morning, but I walk on the street. And it's some crazy hours. I call 3 in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. And one morning as I opened the door, as I touched the door to open it, I heard the Lord spoke to me profoundly, and he asked me a question. He said, "The people who are not doing well, do you think I love them less?" And that was so God is saying to me, doesn't matter who they are, because there's a lot of people think God only loves so-called Christians. God loves the whole world. So even though we say for God so love the world, no, we break it down and say God don't love homosexual, he doesn't love gay, he doesn't love black, God loves the whole world. So God was telling me that no matter who they are, and we just came out of Easter, Jesus died for everybody, and we have to go there and demonstrate it. So the problem is not with God, but the messengers of God not going out there and sending the right message of love. So upon my return, so after I retired in 2000, after COVID, there was a lull and there was no air flight. And basically the first flight out of Jamaica, I jumped out of Canada, I jumped on it and came to Jamaica, and I just landed in the middle of, most people are retiring, they have plans from many years. No, I just jumped by feet. I ended up in Jamaica, in Manchester, ended up going to St. Louis. I'm going all over Jamaica. I was in Manchester operating a business, a jerk center, and a shop, doing things that I never did before. Went to St. Elizabeth, went to St. Mary, went on a farm I'm just doing all kinds of different things. Little did I know God was actually giving me, because one of the things that I was saying to God when I came back to Jamaica, I said, "Lord, what is happening? This is not the Jamaica that I left." And the Lord said to me, "You need to get an understanding." So when God calls you, he doesn't send you to university and he doesn't send you to seminary and all these things. He sends you into the university of life. He throws you into the fire. So I've lived it all, live in the back of a shop, sleep on people's couch, live on a farm, some terrible situation, and people are saying that God cannot call you, you're here, you're suffering. No, I was being trained. I have to have a sense of humor. I worked 30 years in Canada, own house, own car, everything like that. I come down here, I live on the edges of poverty. So when Jesus left, he came and lived in Nazareth, the worst place. They didn't believe him. You are the savior of the world and you live in Nazareth. Can any good thing come up from Nazareth? So I'm bouncing around all the place. And the need was so great that I didn't know where to put my hand on, because there's homelessness, there's mental illness, there is single mothers, there is so many things. So I was spreading myself very far and wide. Sunday I had a feeding program where I cook up food and feed people on the street. So all the money that I had, it just went, the little money, because I just couldn't see people homeless and don't feed them, cook food, all of this stuff. But then God began to narrow down my focus and said, concentrate upon the children and the youth. So I ended up in Waterhouse, at the Mary Atkins Basic School, the Rushford Path Basic School, the Penal Table Basic School. I ended up in Spanish Town. There's a basic school in Firstborn. So I literally went there every day, sat at the school, met the children. It was like I lived at the school. I wake up every morning, trek my way from Spanish Town, Kids Town, and go to school every day just to be amongst the children. They're all excited when they see you. They gang you, they jump up and, "Mr. Renford, Mr. Renford." There's nothing, that's priceless. And then God, but the reason why I went to first I went to the high schools. And I was amazed at what I saw in the high schools where the poor school performance and all of these stuff. And so I need to know what happened. So God sent me down the basic school to understand where it came from. You know, all the behaviors that you see track up the line. So right now I'm in the high school, Penal High School. I'm at the YMCA also too. And I'm just limiting myself because the need is so great. So let me stick to what I'm doing right now. So I'm primarily at the Trinidad School and I'm at the YMCA, which has a storied history over 100 years, concentrating on these young people. Why these young people? Let me tell you the statistics. Across the board in many high schools in Jamaica, children who are in high schools are reading at grade 2 level, which is primary school. About 75% of them. This is what we have on hand. Not one school, you know. About 50 a school in the corporate area. Some of these things that you hear, you can't even believe it. I speak to the teachers. I'm there every day because they have nominated me to be on the president of the Parent Teachers Association. Because even though I don't have any children and I'm not a teacher, because I'm there, so I'm the president of the Parent Teachers. I'm on the curriculum intervention team, and I'm in classes doing talks with students. I'm doing one-on-one. I'm doing it all. So I'm interacting with the students on a daily basis. I'm doing a Beckles depression inventory. 80% of the children are moderately to severely depressed, and some of them are suicidal. Many of them are suicidal. They don't know how to do it. So there's a sense of hopelessness. Many of them come to school and they say it's just an ends. And I didn't know what they mean by ends. And one day I woke up and the Lord put it together and said, an ends means you just come to hang out. You have no desire to study. You have no desire for a job. Last week, just before Easter, and I'm coming down. Because sometimes you see when God calls you, you have encounters after encounters when God wants to narrow your focus. So it was Easter, and I woke up one morning and I looked at my phone and I saw a picture of Jesus on the cross, crucified. And there's an overwhelming compassion that came upon me. And I began to cry for Jesus. Yeah, like weep and in gratitude, said, Jesus died for for the world. It's such a great thing. And then I begin to tell God, say, Lord, I want to do more for you on account of what you did. So in the evening when I came back, I went out. I had a revelation and understanding that these children, what is currently going on in Jamaica and globally, they have embraced not life, but death. There's a scripture in Deuteronomy 30, verse 19 said, God said, I call heaven and earth as a witness that I have said for your life and death, blessing and curse, choose life that you may live. And then in John 10:10 it said, the thief come to kill, to steal, and to destroy, but I come that you might have life. These children, and let me slow it down, they have deliberately chosen death. The young people said they're not going to live. Many of them, they're not going to live past 30. So on a result, say you say their beliefs, that's their belief, So they have embraced death. I'm not going to live past 30. So here's how damaging that is. Why would I want to go to school to learn? Why would I want to get a job? Why, you understand? So because of the death culture that they have embraced, influencing their behavior, where there is suicide, there is violence. If you look at them too hard, they want to kill. And I'm not talking about Jamaica because I'm even in Canada and globally it's happening to the young people. Because a very good friend of mine just last week, her 17-year-old son, relative, committed suicide in Trinidad, 17 years old. So suicide now is a viable option for young people to actually solve their problem. They're going through issues, their hopelessness setting in, there's no future, there's no sense of purpose to their life, and they're committing suicide. And also increased drug use. So that's embracing death. So you have young people taking all kind of substances because they are going through traumatic life experience. They don't know what to do with their resort to drugs. So it's all interconnected. Suicide, violence, murder, lack of hope, school dropout, no desire to move forward. So I am in the process of launching a campaign, a real campaign called I Choose Life, where we go into these communities and speak to these young people and embrace them and register them and build a relationship with them and give them resources in terms of, because the greatest need that they have is for meaningful relationships. Many of them suffering from rejection, fatherlessness, and all of these things. And I can say the Black race, who we are, we have a history of rejection in our history, epigenetics, through slavery and colonization and racism. And then we add fatherlessness to it and all this stuff. There's a stack of rejection, and you have to understand the spirit. So until you build a relationship with them, and God said, you have to love them like you love your own biological children that come out of your own womb. If you don't, they're not going to receive you. You're not going to get the breakthrough. So this is what I'm all about. And I'm doing it with people like Miss Donna Martin Morgan and Pastor Laitland, Alisa, who are coming down to get into these schools and working with these children, sending down stuff so that we can reach them with love. That's the greatest need that they have. So this in a nutshell is what I'm doing. And just in terms of if anybody want to support, the guidance counselor for Trinidad High School just called me this morning and said, in a few weeks, they're going to have a boys' day and a girls' day in the school. And she's looking to purchase a cake for the both days, for the boys and for the girls. So this is my humble request. If anyone wanna, you can get in touch with me or Mrs. Donna Martin Morgan and say you'd like to sponsor a cake. $6,000 per, which is Jamaican, which is what? 40 and 30 US, and buy a large cake so they can celebrate boys and girls day. Because you have to celebrate them, you know. You have to celebrate them and affirm them for them to feel valued and worthwhile and meaningful. It's not a one-day thing, it's an everyday thing. Just by greeting them, saying hi to them, using the 5 love language, them give them a little word of encouragement, anything to say that I love you, God loves you, and you have a reason to live. And that will give them hope. So thank you, and that's it for me.
You're muted, Donna.
Yes.
Was just on a roll. I was on a roll. So I want to thank you, Ren, because of you, I was able to come into the schools, right? Especially going into Waterhouse. You know, we have an amazing team now, of course, security and driver with Orville, and yourself introducing me to the principals and so forth. And I've seen these individuals, yourself and the principals. And people need to understand also, like the principals are cooking daily for these basic level schools. So if you can, if you're from, Jamaican diaspora, or any other country and just have a love also for Jamaica, you can also help in little ways like supporting daily meals to help the principals to cook lunch for, just rice and peas and chicken. I see them have for lunch and little snacks. There's celebrations, things like that. And like Ren was saying, like the cake. So a lot of times it's those kind of things, school supplies, graduation supplies. You can support, I directly support the principals there. Just it helps to just, they can send, okay, we need XYZ, things like that. So if you want to support, again, a way to support your country, um, let us know. There are multiple ways, and there are such awesome people that we have, trusted, vetted people that you can pour back into your country and help and make a difference in your life. There's absolutely nothing more than making that difference. And what I do also, and is when I go to Jamaica on vacation, always make time to go into the schools, whether doing empowerment, drop off school supplies, etc. And again, that's thanks to Ren connecting me on that level. So we want to again remind you, if you can help, please do. If you can't, refer to a family member, a friend, a small business, something that somebody, especially from that country, because a lot of times people want to give back to their country, but they just don't have the person. They don't have someone trusted, or they don't have a personal, but once they find that personal person, you know, it makes a difference. So we've got two amazing souls here, one from Jamaica, one from Trinidad and Tobago, that you can pour into in so many ways and help your country. So we plead with you to be a blessing so that they can continue to be a blessing in, such amazing ways in the Caribbean. Dr. Arlene, any last word?
Again, I am just so grateful to stand on this platform and to hear of the progress that our colleagues are making. And especially, yes, salute you, Ren. I remember the first time when I saw you on the platform and you shared, and when I see the pictures that Donna, shared about all that connection, I'm like, wow, they're great job. So it doesn't take much to do something that can impact the lives of others. So I salute you. I salute you, Stacey, and for all the others who are doing the amazing job. I like what Ren said about, we're all called. So it's not the profession, right, Ren? It's not the profession. It's your life is
Yes,
bigger than
exactly.
that. Amen. So I
Yes.
thank you all and God bless you. And amazing, amazing, amazing. Another amazing
Yes.
evening, Donna. Thank you.
We strive to be amazing, and we strive to just bring these podcasts that can make a difference in so many ways to your lives, to the lives that just imagine the smiles of the children and the families that you get to support, you get to make a difference in. That is what we are about. So with that, we give thanks, and until next time, God bless you.
Bless you too.
God bless you guys. Thank you.
Yes, stay safe, be blessed.
Bye-bye.